someone new in the room helping us today, so I'm excited about that. But I'm going to flip it over to Carrie Levins and Alexandria I got it wrong a million times already this week, so I'm going to get it right today. And also Christopher Dooley. So they are all sheltering together, 3 sommeliers in one place, which I think is so crazy, but I love it, in Queens, New York. So our hearts go out to everyone in Queens and everywhere. And so Carrie, we worked together at the Modern, and she was just such a shining, bright star. So we have her Venmo there if you love their service today. She is going to do a frittata recipe for us. I've never made one before, so I'm ready in the kitchen to do it with you. There's Carrie in a YouTube video that was really great. She also makes her own wine and all kinds of super fun stuff. So let's get started, Carrie. Will you tell us how to make this flippin' frittata?
Sure. We have a few things planned. We're going to do like full brunch in my Queen's kitchen today.
In 5 minutes.
We're very excited. So for everyone that is cooking with me, there's a few things I just want to point out first. There's 2 ways that we can do this. If your oven is heated to like 375, that'll be a good option for you if you want to finish the frittata on the oven, on the stovetop. So the beauty about the frittata, and especially in this time where you don't really want to make a million trips to the store, is that if you have some eggs, you can just basically pull out anything you have in your refrigerator and make something delicious with hardly any ingredients. Definitely nothing special or out of the ordinary. So it's a lot of variations, and then it's also scalable. So we were going to start with 4 eggs, but I added 1 extra because my quarantine is 3 people. So so this is how we get started.
Also, so everyone knows, Carrie is not only an incredible wine director, restaurant general manager, but also a graduate of the CIA Hyde Park. Right, Carrie?
Yeah. Did that too. So I hope I do them proud today. I haven't been, the best thing about having been home and then also having 2 really good eaters in my house is that I do them every day, and I haven't been able to just be home and cook for a really long time. So it's been a big bright spot for me, just because I have a need to feed people, and so it's a nice little situation we have going on. So I'm going to just point it down a little bit this way. These are 5 eggs. We have our oven preheated, and then one more thing I want to mention is I have a non-stick pan, which is important. So either a non-stick pan, or it's good to use a cast iron pan. That'll help so your eggs don't stick. I'm going to heat the pan now, but not too high, okay?
So Carrie, like if my stove is 1 to 10, what should it be on?
Like nothing more than a 5.
Okay.
I'm going to buy myself a little bit of time to mix my ingredients, but with these eggs, you want to be able to control your heat and not scorch them. So I'm going to put a little bit of butter, and I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil because I kind of like that combo. Because you kind of get the flavor from the butter, which is really nice. Okay, so then when you're mixing the eggs, you're not like incorporating a lot of air into them. You're just kind of stirring them. You don't want like a big fluffy frittata. We just want like a baked frittata. So I'm just going to kind of stir these up. And then I have all of my other ingredients already cooked and seasoned and ready to go. So we had some asparagus, so that's roasted and seasoned. So I'm going to put that in there. And then I have some mushrooms left over. Just going to toss a few of those.
Libby, I see you cooking out there. Libby, where are you?
I'm in my kitchen.
Oh, what part of the world?
I'm in Austin.
Oh, nice. Love it.
And Cassie has a question that she wants to ask everybody. Let's pop Cassie up real quick.
Go ahead, Cassie.
Hi. Oh, I'm just wondering what everybody's putting in their frittata. I put together like a little kind of Southwestern one. I know they said was it asparagus and herbs. So is anybody doing anything different?
Oh, wait, what's in your Southwestern?
Yeah, well, so mine is I have cilantro, serranos, tomatoes. I have onions and currently, And then I'll eventually have avocado and some sour cream as well. Oh, and bell peppers.
I
Yeah.
want to come to your house, Cassie. Al G says he's doing zucchini, sun-dried tomatoes, and feta. That sounds amazing.
That sounds delicious. We should get Jill Mathiasen and Steve to tell us what wines of theirs we should do with these frittatas. Where are you guys? Are you under Jill? Jill, you should give us the wine pairing.
Leftover potatoes with like a kale pesto.
Oh, nice. I love it.
You guys are creative. I love that. Oh,
There you are.
Victoria, you're there, but you're muted. Let's unmute Victoria. Oh, can't do it.
Also, Carrie, so everything's in your pan now, right?
Yeah, so the pan was getting hot, so just before I put it in the pan, you just make sure you put some salt and pepper, or some seasoning that you want. Put it in your pan, and then really the trick to speed, especially for frittata, is when you put it in the pan, just start pulling it away from the edges as it starts to set.
Oh, mine's too hot. It's bubbling.
Uh-oh.
That's okay.
Uh-oh. What does she do?
You can just take the pan off the heat.
Okay.
And it'll cool down. And then when you put your eggs in there, that's going to cool it down too. So it'll slow down.
So now you're just pulling down the sides. Is that what you're doing, Carrie?
As the sides start to set up, you just kind of pull it in and let a little bit more of the egg mixture leak to the sides.
Okay.
And that'll make it nice and fluffy. Make sure your ingredients are just nice and spread out throughout the pan.
Mine are all clumping.
That's okay, just spread it out with your spatula. That's okay. So just keep pulling it in through the sides.
But I'm not worried because I don't think the Michelin inspector is going to come by today.
Well, it's still going to come out really well. So at this point, we can, once it's kind of set everywhere, you can do two things. I'm going to pop this in the oven for a few minutes.
Oh, you're not going to flip it? Aren't you supposed to flip it?
We're going to let it set on the top a little bit. So
Okay.
you can leave it on the stove top, especially if it's small, and let the top where it's not set yet, we'll let that steam a little bit.
All right, so it's going in the oven?
Yeah, I'm gonna pop mine in the oven for a little bit. But if you do flip it, you have to be really careful when it comes out of the oven because the handle is gonna be hot.
Okay. So we're going to flip it over to Alex and Chris, and they're going to tell us about what they're drinking because brunch is all about sparkling wine. And before that, I wanted to share an image, Rebecca, if you can put it up, of my favorite dish at 11 Madison Park, if you haven't been there. That's Carrie's recipe, which we'll send to you. But has anyone had this crazy carrot tartare that they were doing in the very beginning at 11 Madison Park? I mean, it looked like a steak tartare, but they were grating carrots at your table. I mean, it was so sexy and so amazing. I love this restaurant so much. But Rebecca, if you'll flip to the next, we're now gonna move on to Alexandria and Christopher, and they're gonna share two of their favorite sparkling wines. And then Alexandria, who apparently is the house mixologist, everybody needs one, I need one, is gonna show us a really fun cocktail we can do with all this sparkling wine that we have open.
That's awesome.
Yeah, hi, my name is Chris Dooley. I'm the Assistant Wine Director at 11 Madison Park. Thanks for tuning in. Shout out to the three people that I noticed so far, to Sammy, Erica, and Dino. I want to talk a little bit about one of the, of course, brunch staples are sparkling wine. And, you know, the kind of main things come to mind, whether it's Prosecco or Cava or Champagne. I kind of wanted to choose something a bit different, something kind of more of an emerging market. And something near and dear to my heart, I was able to go visit England. English sparkling wine is definitely something that I have a passion for and I'm very excited about. And so I wanted to pour something that maybe you weren't too familiar with. So what I have here is Nye Timber.
This is so crazy. So Christopher, all the grapes are grown in England.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm in the southern part of England, in Sussex and in Kent. It's pretty cool to see all of that, in Hampshire as well. So you have the 3 different sites. It's all estate fruit, so it's all owned by the same people, all owned by Night Timber. They're not purchasing anything.
Wow.
And their flagship cuvee. Really terrific. What they do is something I think is really interesting, and you see other champagne producers do as well, is they have this ID on the back, which is basically right here, opposite of the barcode. And you can type that into their website and basically get all the information that you want to know that's inside the bottle. You don't have to do that today because I've done it for you. 14, it's a blended cuvee, of course, so it's vintages going all the way back to 2008 with 10% 2009. So you see a bit bump in the reserve wine there. Aged for about 3 years, 30 months on the lees. Just a really beautiful example of English sparkling wine and why it should be considered alongside of champagne and the great sparkling wines of the world. Available in most markets for sure. I think the wines, they make a whole line of different things. They have a really beautiful demi-sec, which I think is a very unheralded category that I think a lot of people should think about. Little sweet bubble is always delicious, so I always think that should be something that people should consider as well.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to get some of that into my hot little hands and into my glass. Alex, do you want to tell us about your sparkling that you're drinking today for brunch?
I think brunch is particularly well suited to having multiple beverages at a time in a way that maybe no other meal is. So what I have here is we're going to make a sparkling wine cocktail. But what I have here for the basis of it is a Prosecco. So this is from the Glera grape. Bisson is the producer. It's actually a frizzante bottling, so it's a little bit lower atmosphere bottling pressure. Basically, it's not going to be quite as like bubbly spritzy as a champagne is, but still has a lot of like this really delicate, like fine texture. What I love about Prosecco in particular is its versatility. It's made in a different way than these kind of traditional champagne method sparkling wines are. In those, like there's a secondary fermentation that occurs inside the bottle. So this one actually occurs in a tank. And so you're not getting all of these like really complex, yeasty, like bready brioche tones from the wine. It's a little bit more like highly fruited, really brightly toned, which I think is just gonna be really delicious. So I was kind of inspired by a very traditional aperitivo in this region of Veneto in Italy, where Prosecco comes from, the Bellini. So it's traditionally made with like a peach puree, and you just top off Prosecco on top, and it's just, you know, very classic brunchy type cocktail, up there with a mimosa, I would say. But I wanted to do things with possibly ingredients that we already have in our fridges, in our bar cabinet, wherever. Like Carrie said, she likes to cook, I like to make people drink, so I try to keep it on hand here. But so we're going to kind of play around with a few different things. So the basis of this is going to be a jam instead of a peach puree. So we have a couple of different types here, and Carrie and Julie are going to help me out in a little bit by making their own versions of the cocktails as well. So we have here just kind of an apricot and raspberry jam. That one's going to go. Carrie is going to have a gin-based cocktail.
Alex, can I ask a question? Do we build that whole thing in a glass, or what are you building the whole thing in?
I have a few different things actually just to show you. So I have shaker tins, but I understand that that's probably not something that most bars at home have. So I brought a few other items I think are really well suited for shaking cocktails. One's a mason jar. So all you need is a mason jar and a lid. You build your cocktail inside the mason jar here. Add ice. You're going to shake it. And then if you really want, you can just leave the ice, top it off with Prosecco. I think we're going to strain it. We just have like a little Hawthorne strainer here that we're going to just use to strain it into a coupe. But I think also another one, if you don't have a Prosecco bottle at home, I also have a protein shaker bottle. So I think these, again, comes with a lid. It's like particularly well suited to shake a cocktail in, especially if you're in a pinch. I've definitely been there before. So we're going to make 3 different cocktails in 3 different vessels. I think they're all going to be delicious.
I love how you are multitasking and giving things multiple purposes, because I've been doing the same thing, like, oh, okay, what can I make work this way? So awesome, Alexandria. You know what? I mean, I guess this just makes us that much more creative, right?
Hey, you guys, Leah Jones, who I think, Leah, where are you dialing in from?
Hey guys, I'm actually dialing in from Belize. I'm in Belize City right now.
That is so amazing. So,
Leah, your
one-
set-
Shout out to Julie. Boop, boop. I used to work at EMP, everybody, so we have an EMP person in the house as well. So shout out to EMP, everybody that's here. Make it nice. Yeah, but I'm in Belize City right now.
That's so awesome. Look at your setup. It looks so freaking amazing. I love it. But I wanted to make sure you got to ask your questions. So go ahead.
What temperature is the oven supposed to be? I missed that part.
It's about 375.
Okay, perfect.
And how long is it staying in there too? I was wondering that.
What's that?
How long is the frittata supposed to stay in there at 375?
I would recommend that everyone check it right now. Depending on how many eggs, it's going to be a different cook time. I just looked at mine, and it's looking almost.
Mine's done.
This is going to be a stupid question because I've never made a frittata before, but what should it look like? Like Belinda's? Belinda, hold yours back up to see, should it look like that? Oh, look, and let's spotlight.
Oh, good.
Okay, yeah.
Perfect.
All right, now let's get back to the drink. Rachel
Let's get
has a
this drink done
question
so I can
about.
flip my frittata.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Uh-oh,
You guys got to yell.
we lost some video.
Did we lose some video? Well, we've got
We lost some
Alex.
audio.
We've got Alex.
And we also have a question from Rachel, how much gin or rum? So let's see, Rachel, let's pop Rachel real quick.
Rachel, where are you?
Oh,
Hi guys.
Here we
Doing
go.
awesome. This is amazing. How much gin or rum am I measuring out first?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I originally put just like a heaping spoonful of the jam, preserve, marmalade, whatever you have on hand. And then since this is a base of, it's because the base of the cocktail is wine, we're only doing an ounce of spirit. So,
Okay.
so for me, I did rye whiskey because I think it's gonna play really nicely with the peach jam flavors that I have in my glass. But Julie has an ounce of vodka. We added a splash of elderflower liqueur in his as well because it plays really nicely. So feel free to just kind of play around with flavors. And then Carrie has Hendrick's gin with hers. So you can play around. Literally, it's going to taste good with anything you have, pretty much.
We do have a comment from our friend at Danny and Jackie's happy hour, virtual happy hour. What did you say, Jackie? Jackie Summers. I saw you sitting on your stoop.
All of the rum. It's that kind of a day. All of the rum.
We love it.
You are my spirit animal for real. You and me and all of the rum, although today I got my wine. Cheers, my brother.
You know, I had one earlier. If I had any left, I'd be having some now. But make do with what we have. All the rum.
That's on my next order to Benny's. Some good rum. I wish I could order some straight from Cuba, but you know what? That embargo.
All right, Alex, let's take this to the home stretch.
Yeah, so I also added just a splash of citrus as well in each of our cocktails. So it really depends on what spirit you're using. With like a whiskey, kind of darker spirited, maybe like a dark rum. I think like a lemon lime is really particularly well suited. But jam in general is pretty high in acid, so you really wanted to keep that low. So if you're doing an ounce of spirit to maybe a quarter ounce of lemon juice. So you're going to keep that proportion pretty low because the Prosecco itself already has a lot of acid in it. So we're going to shake these cocktails up really fast, which is
Oh, you both have really cute shakes. Let me just.
Wait a minute. That shake is choreographed. Did y'all call the real Debbie Allen and do her dance classes this week on Instagram?
cocktail, give it a very vigorous shake because you're really trying to incorporate that jammy flavor into the cocktail, make it a little bit more integrated in.
Yeah.
So you're just going to pour it into your glass of choice. If you want to keep it in the mason jar, keep it in the mason jar. And then we're going to open the Prosecco and top it off. And that's it. Very simple.
Okay.
That's delicious.
Your frittata should be ready.
Carrie, are you going to flip that sucker?
She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good finish. I believe it's called the money shot.
The money shot.
Golden brown on the edges, a little bit puffy, kind of bubbling. Be careful. Make sure you don't burn yourself. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna take a plate.
Carrie, also, by the way, I've never seen someone flip a frittata on national TV, so, this is a good practice.
National audience.
And I'm with Al G. Everybody do this in unison at the same time. You've got your plate on top of it. Now go.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
I didn't flip it, I slid it. Nice job, team.
Good job.
You guys are so awesome, and it's amazing that you're all together and working through this together in Queens. And thank you for joining us today and bringing all your friends and family to join us for brunch. You guys are so, so amazing. Cheers. Oh, wait, I drank it all. I have to pour more.
And here's the best part. Bailey just said, I can't believe I just did that. That was awesome. Can we pop Bailey up real quick and see?
Yeah.
Bailey, show us your
Show
frittata,
us.
girl.
Okay, so my pan is too big. We learned that. So it is a little bit brown. It's a little bit browner than it should be. But you know what? We flipped it and we did it, and it'll be better next time.
There you go. First
Thank
time,
you.
always the trial run, girl. Good job.
Yes.
So
And delicious
awesome.
cocktail too, by the way. Thank you.
It's so good.
So hard to multitask making a frittata and a cocktail at the same time.
Yes.
But you did it because
You
y'all
did
are all
it.
bosses. You know what? It's funny. There's been a lot of conversation in the self-help world and in the self-improvement world about, taking it easy on yourself at home and not expecting to do a whole lot. But here's the thing. If you're trying something new, guess what? We're all going to come out with something new from this, right? Whether it's just because we tried something different, even if we never go back to it. Right, Rachel? We're looking at this right now. You with me?
I'm with her.
And shout out to Laura. Laura shouting out Mark. And Mark, this is so true, Laura. I do the same thing. She said from now on, when she puts on makeup, she watches him with the red lipstick and the cream bottom up. Literally, Mark, I'm like this all the time. So thank you, my baby. And Carly says her frittata's awesome.
Yay.
Melanie did her first.
Hi, Laura.
Mark, anytime I ever put on makeup until I die, I'm going to picture you. I'm just telling you.
I love it. I love
And I never have the guts to put on really red lipstick, but now I do, because after watching Belinda with her lipstick and she looks amazing, that's it. I dare do it.
Laura,
Does it
don't
not
show
just
up
make
to
your
another
day with a bright
Mark,
lip?
Mark.
Does it not just make your day with a bright lip on?
Yes, yes.
Although I have to say, Jackie said the red lipstick doesn't work for him. He needs earth tones. We approve of that too, Mr. Summers.
This is a safe space. Do all the colors of the rainbow.
Exactly. I love it. I love it a lot, you guys. But Laura, the next brunch, we've got to see you with that red lip on, mama, or hot pink or neon green, whatever the hell you choose, mama. You can wear it here.
We love it. So our next guest is Morgan Olson, who's the global food and drink lead for Time Out. And I know that Jean's got some questions for her, and Morgan wants to share some of her brilliance. There's a little information, and I definitely suggest following her Instagram, because there are a lot of people who are great at taking pictures of food and interiors, but Morgan is world class.
Right. Thank you so much for joining us, Morgan. How are you today? You're doing well?
I'm good. I just baked a loaf of challah earlier this morning, and I'm so excited about it.
We love it. Okay, so first, tell us how you view, especially now that most of us are 2 to 3 weeks in, depending on where you are in the country when it comes to this particular pandemic. How are you seeing what the role of food and wine media is in this, and how have you guys kind of pivoted to address and do what you feel is your job in this environment?
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, it happened so quickly, as we all know. And food and drink media really reacted very quickly to it as well in response, which is just awesome to see. At Time Out, we flipped to Time In almost 2 days into this whole thing. At the time, I was like, this seems a little soon, a little weird. And I'm so glad that we did. You see folks like Eater rolling out Eater at Home with beautiful recipes and amazing resources. And I really feel like the media industry has transitioned quickly to point support to restaurants and bars that are providing take-home service, delivery service, but then also help people figure out and navigate kind of this new dining at home normal, whether you're making sourdough for the first time or challah like me for the first time, or you're just trying to figure out how to make a cocktail from what you have on your bar cart. They really have hooked it up with resources for everyone.
That's wonderful. And you know what, Jackie just had a really good comment. Do you want to pop in real quick, Jackie, and say what you just wrote in the chat about leadership and kind of expound a little bit?
Sure. This is easy. Leadership is ideas plus speed plus execution. This is all changing really fast. The conversation today is entirely different than the conversation last week, and will be entirely different from the conversation we're going to have next week. So the quicker you can adapt, the quicker you can put things into motion, the more people you can find that share your ideals but have various skills. Do those things.
Brother.
Hey.
Why are you preaching on a Sunday, Jackie? I love
I just
it.
want to say, Jean, for those who don't know, Jackie started this Mondays ago. He realized that this was going to be a crazy time, and an incredible way to help when all the bars are closed and all the restaurants are closed was to bring bartenders to us and a bar experience all to us. So I saw this on a Monday and was like, oh my God, this is like the smartest, most wonderful thing I've ever seen, and thought I want to also be a part of that. And he was so kind to tell me how to do it. So here we are.
And Jackie also wants to give a shout out to Danny and Lauren as well, his partners in that enterprise, because they make it happen. And that was kind of the inspiration for Belinda to do this Boozy Brunch.
With you, Jean and Krista. So thank you.
Girl, we're just here to support. That's what we do. Now, Morgan, how are you? I mean, because here's the thing, you're killing your social game. Like, your feed is amazing. And one of the things, I was actually talking to a friend of mine about this, about how takeout has now gotten elevated, because now we're doing takeout from places that, yes, we might have done before, but now we're plating it. We're trying to recreate this environment in our own houses. Can you talk about how you kind of your philosophy of what's going on with that from your perspective?
You bet. I mean, fine dining restaurants, I think everybody was hit so hard with this, but fine dining restaurants especially, we like to think of them as these giants, but in most cases, they had no takeout or delivery programs, especially, you think of the Michelin-starred restaurants in your cities. There is no way that they had takeout program before this. And they had to pivot real quick and make an adjustment. I remember Belinda and I were on a Boozy happy hour 2 weeks ago when Alinea launched their takeout program, $34, $34.95 a person. It's
for Alinea? How did I miss this? Oh my God! Okay, sorry.
You got to follow Morgan's feed.
I do, but I missed. Let me tell you something. I'm so overloaded that I need to like weed out some of the dogs that I follow so that I can find Morgan's food.
There's never been a better time to just start unfollowing negative people in your life on social media. I've realized through this whole thing,
yes.
You gotta have the good coming in. But these fine dining giants have really kind of reinvented the game, and they've had to do it quickly and creatively to attract an audience. They already had one there, but they're attracting a different kind of audience now. And so we see, you know, kind of, you know, as restaurants are starting to slow down on the delivery takeout, I've actually seen more and more fine dining joints join the conversation this week alone. And over at Time Out Chicago and a lot of our other Time Out cities, we've got great lists of kind of these fine dining elevated options. And let me tell you, going on week 3, 4 of all of this, it's really nice to just order in something nice, beautiful, plate it like it would be at a restaurant, put the, you know, silverware out, put some placemats out, pour the wine. It's a really nice treat for kind of a Friday night situation if you're trying to do date night at home.
Now, what are some tips you have for us? Because we popped up some of the articles that you've been posting and talking about lately about safety of takeout, also lobbying for restaurants to be included in the bailout, because there have been some things happening on it, both locally. I know here in Illinois, I've seen some of the stories going on about it, and I'm sure it's happening in other states as well. So can you talk about that real quick, and then we'll get back to a couple of questions that I've seen in the chats.
Yeah, you bet. From a consumer standpoint, takeout delivery is still safe. There are some safeguards that you should put into place and restaurants should be putting into place. First and foremost, if you're ordering, call the restaurant directly rather than going through a third-party delivery service like a Grubhub or Caviar. Some restaurants are still relying on those to get their service out, but it's nice to give them the opportunity. A lot of them are using their family to go and deliver these items to you and save on those fees that they get hit with through third-party delivery services. So call directly. When you get the food at your house, order for no contact delivery. This is not rude. It's to protect you. It's to protect the driver who's bringing the food. Have them leave it at your front door. And then as soon as it's in your house, the recommendation that I've seen most broadly is to take it out of its packaging, plate it. So have some fun with it, be fancy, toss the packaging, wash your hands like you would before you eat, I hope. And then
that part. I hate to be the Jada Pinkett Smith of the group, but that part.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, you know, I was looking around today, and the James Beard Foundation has, there's no national guidelines for restaurants to be following during this time, which I think is really frustrating. But the James Beard Foundation has a great list of some of the measures that chefs around the country are implementing right now. You know, that beyond the hand washing and the sanitizing, also asking employees to stay home if they are feeling ill or may have come in contact with somebody who feels ill. 3 times daily sanitation of their space. The list just goes on and on. So there's ways to do it. And I get that not everybody is in the place to do it or, you know, just wants to cease now. But yeah, there are resources out there.
All right, I want to give a couple of shout outs because you're absolutely 100% right, Morgan. Shout outs to Acadia, Gibson's. Sadly, Osteria Mozza had to stop doing their meals, but Pasarotos. And then let's call on Jill Klein, who is following Help Save Napa Restaurants. You put in a comment, Jill.
Wow.
Jill Klein Mathiasen. Did I get that right? I'm so sorry.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Hey, Jill.
Hi.
So what's going on with the beef bourguignon?
No.
That's also, you guys, just so you know, these are the world famous, just covered in the New York Times, I don't know, like 10 times recently, Steve Mathiasen and Jill Mathiasen, who are like cutting edge winemakers doing all the natural organic thing before it was cool and before it was a thing. I mean, and they also make incredible jam. Jill, I wish I had used your jam in this cocktail. Steve, look at that. They did the frittata. But tell us, go ahead, Jill.
Tell us what's happening in Napa.
Yeah, it's this Help Save Napa Restaurants is just such a great resource. I'm like obsessively looking every day at like what the options are. There's tacos and everything from tacos to now Press Restaurant is doing like for I think $35 a person you can get filet mignon with a salad and a dessert course. So back to what other people were saying, and incredible deals. Yeah, the beef bourguignon. Angel is like a local but really well-established
restaurant here, and we went to Angel during the fires when they were one of the only restaurants open, and Thomas Keller and his family were sitting at the next table.
Wow.
So we're doing everything we can, but we have limited budget here just because we've got all of our restaurant, wonderful restaurant accounts are closed, and so we're doing everything we can to sell our wine online. Tasting room is closed, so we're all kind of in the same boat, just trying to get creative.
Jill, is it true? Maria Sinsky told us last week that one of the big things we can do to help like our favorite wineries is to buy direct.
Yeah, online, offering some tasting pack and doing virtual tastings once you get the tasting pack. We did one yesterday and one the day before. So that's an awesome thing to point people towards. But, we so feel for all the sommeliers and everyone in the restaurant industry who've been big supporters of ours that are now out of work. So, yeah.
Love you for that. Thank you, Jill.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Also want to shout out Perry's in the Houston suburbs with Curbside. That was from Amy Gross. Also, Table Donkey and Stick is doing pizza, and Alex says it's stupid good. Mark G, I know you're asking if they'll ship the food to New York, but I'm assuming Jill, she already popped off. I'm assuming that all the shipping is going wherever it needs to go from the wineries.
Jean, for local Chicago, we also have Adrienne Lowe here from Fat Rice, who's doing some amazing stuff, not just for the community, but also
Girl, I can walk over there.
Her to go. Adrienne, do you want to tell us a little bit? Because you're also going to come on this thing next week.
Yeah, next week. Yeah, gonna make some dumplings next week.
Hey,
so, hi. Well, we, kind of watched this whole thing, and, by, March 14th or something, had really been talking about what we were going to do because things were just happening so fast and every day was different. And, we kind of had a plan to, we don't, as a restaurant, do takeout and delivery. I mean, we do it a little bit here and there, but it's definitely not something that we do on a regular basis. So we weren't really prepared for that pivot, and it was something we were planning on doing. But then really kind of decided that the best thing we thought to do was to be safe and get everybody home and get our whole staff home. So we decided to take what we had, which was the perishable inventory we had, and create meals and meal boxes for people to encourage people to stay home and really practice social distancing and try and be at home in quarantine for as long as possible. So we created some food that was ready to reheat and eat meals, along with just some staples, some rice, and along with coconut milk and stuff like that, and some fresh vegetables, and some ideas of how to cook some of that stuff. So we created these boxes that were meant for 3 days for 2 people, so around 6 meals. Again, really on a scale of pay what you can, because again, we knew that everybody was losing their jobs, and we just wanted to be able to provide something back to the community. So we did that for about 3 days, and we're able to create 450 boxes to be able to get out to people.
Wow.
And we have since actually been closed. So everybody, me and my business partner have been home for a little over 2.5 weeks, and our staff has been, off for over 3 weeks. And, we're just kind of seeing as, day by day as things are changing. But we are looking into getting back and, helping in relief efforts and helping and cooking for people in need in hospitals and hospital workers and stuff like that. So that's something we've been on the phone for the last couple weeks talking to people all over the country about how we can assist with people in need. So that's what we're working on now. So hopefully in the next coming weeks we'll be able to do that. And again, bring hot meals to those that need them.
So awesome.
Yeah.
Listen, this is everything my grandmother told me when I was a kid. Everything you do comes back to you. And when you put good out into the world like you already have, it's coming back to you. It's coming back. Don't you spend one moment thinking about anything but what you want to do and what's coming next, okay? Everybody on this thread, everybody. I want y'all to know 100%. One of my friends in TV here, Ryan Shiverini from Windy City Live, has been doing this thing where he's encouraging people, if you've got some extra money, instead of ordering takeout just for yourself, call a local emergency room, call a local hospital and find out what they need and send some takeout to them because they're on the front lines. And the fact, Adrian, that you thought of them and everybody else that's on this feed that has thought about somebody else, trust and believe that that's how this universe works. When you put it out, it comes back to you. I know it's hard, sis. I see it in your face and I felt it myself. But understand that those of us who are here that see that, we know that, and we're there. I literally am going to walk down the street to Fat Rice as soon as we can to support that. It always gets paid back, always. Jackie, you are hilarious. He said 2 types of people prosper during a crisis: those who put community first and criminals. Bruh, preach on that one.
Jackie is like maybe the most infinitely quotable person I've ever met. It's
right?
amazing.
And I don't know how far into that bottle of rum he got this morning to get that inspiration, to get those spiritual guides, but blessings on that one. Rachel said she made a casserole and cookies for her doctor's office. And you didn't get far enough into that bottle, bruh. I hear you, because I'm running low on everything too. But you know what, Morgan, we want to get you back front and center to kind of wrap up what your thoughts are from Time Out and for the Food and Wine Media and what you're thinking about there.
Yeah, and one of the things that Belinda and I talked about before this is sometimes as a consumer, it feels like, how do I, give a little bit to everybody? And one of the things that I've been doing myself and encouraging people to do is when you are thinking of your favorite restaurant or your favorite bar, and you're perhaps trying to build out a dish or a cocktail from that bar and recreate some normalcy in your life, send them a tip in the form of donating to their restaurant relief fund. You can usually find this by going to the restaurant's Instagram page. They've probably got it linked in their bio. If not, they've probably got a post about it somewhere. But give them a few bucks. I know sometimes they get gouged with delivery fees, service fees. They don't have the time to send out merch always right now. But contributing to those relief funds puts money in the pocket of their employees and really goes a far way. So consider doing that. James Beard Foundation just also opened a relief fund, I think late last week. So consider giving to that. Your money goes far. And right now, I think a lot of us are saving a lot of money. So anything that we can give back in those experiences of, when we would have gone out, our Ventra fee, whatever it may be, if you are fortunate enough to have those extra dollars lying around right now, give them back to the people who have given so willingly to us and opened their doors so willingly to us over the last couple of decades.
Raise your hand if you didn't realize how much money you blew every week, because I'm like,
I know.
That's how much I spent going out every week, because it's like I try to be real good with my budget. I don't know if anybody else does. I try, but then I have all this. I'm like, oh, snap. Okay, I can help somebody today because I'm not actually doing that right now. So Morgan, thank you. Thank you for that reminder.
Of course.
And much appreciated, because that's the money we would have been spending in these establishments anyway. So we may as well go on and do it. And I think this is a great time, don't you think, Belinda, to kind of switch to our mental and emotional. Oh, you want to do some more?
Well, I was going to keep drinking.
You know what? Let's do a
cheers. Transition to what's here and here and all.
And in our glasses. I'm with another toast. I'm with another toast. Put it to your camera.
Being here with us, I am so excited that everyone is here connecting and with us today. It's so cool. It just makes me so happy.
This is the best boomerang ever. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, so right now, we want to bring in Stephanie Fee, who is the National Sales Director for Italian wine import company DeGrazia Imports. She just started a new business with Kari Jones. I hope I said your name right, Kari, a nutritionist and coach, and it's called Not Collaborative. And I think the whole point of it is what we've been talking about, is to feel better, feel right during all this time when things feel wrong. And so I'm going to bring in Stephanie to talk about stuff and what she's doing. And by the way, guys, we're going to run over today because we're coming up on 3 o'clock and we're not quite done yet. I hope y'all are cool and can hang around with us and keep this party going. So, hey, Miss Steph, how you doing today?
Hi. You guys are great. Hi, I'm so happy to be here. Belinda, I have to say happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Also, I realized that last year, we were together in Italy.
We were together having pasta.
That's so awesome.
I remember.
I don't know how you stay so thin with all that pasta we ate in Italy. It's amazing. So this girl has something to share and help us.
Well, thank you. So for a little background for all of you listening, I've lost 70 pounds over the years while working through all the obstacles that this business has presented. So, well, I guess I could start with what is Knock Collaborative. So I launched Knock Collaborative January 2020. One aspect of Knock is called the Knock Life Program. So as luck would have it, Kari Jones, who's watching today and involved today, she partnered up with me to be the certified nutritionist and coach for the Knock Life Program. And the Knock Life Program is a year-long membership program, and it's focused on weight loss. And we do this through workshops, we do this through accountability, we do this on a very personalized level. And in addition to that, we offer 3 other options. So we have a 21-day metabolic recovery program, and we also are offering a 3-month program as well for those who just, maybe they're in a different spot or they're not quite ready to commit to this year-long program we've established. So with that.
So don't worry. Here's the real question that we have for you today, because the thing is that people are going to participate in whatever level they need to, because I think right now we are all looking for some guidance and some ways to make this abnormal thing normal for us, because we don't know how long it's going to last. We don't know how long we're going to be here. And I think in some parts of the country, we're going to be, we're starting at different points, and we don't know. And anybody who's a control freak in the room knows how hard that is. And I'm not judging, because sometimes I can be that way too, right? So tell us about this tool that you brought up that can help anybody right now with what they're going through.
Sure. So we talked about before this, how we could draw an association, a connection to our emotions and to what we're putting in our mouths. So one thing to think about is that the unknown is something that we have to accept, first of all, because we don't know. And when we tell ourselves we don't know, that's the first step in the process. And then we start with our truth, okay? Super, super important, because if you can't tell the truth about your situation, then it's hard to move to the next step. So for us, everything's about the thinking. So when you look at this, don't think about perfection or, overthink it. Think of it as a guide, right? So what we did is we labeled emotions not with necessarily a negative or positive, but how they resonate within us. I know for me, when I'm depressed, I've been anxious extraordinarily for the last 3 days, and it's depleting, right? And then stabilizing. Are you grateful? Do you feel a sense of calm? Are you interested in things? Do you trust? Are you flowing? And then elevating those creative moments, the moments where you're just catapulting up into another, level. And you can be all at once. And this is good because it means we're moving. So emotions are good. It's good to move around. So when we get stuck, that the warning signs happen. And Kari will present the tool that she created with this guide. So it's about, if you look at this one time, just one time, it can trigger new ways of thinking. So we give you the visual, we give our clients the visual to train their brain. And you can walk away from a workshop and do nothing, so you think, but being there will change the way that you're thinking. Should we show the tool?
Yeah, Steph, I just want to jump in before Kari speaks. I just want to say, like, you helped me so much this morning. I was having like a total freaking freak out moment. Like, I just wanted to end it all and eat 50 cupcakes. So everybody should be listening to this. I'll tell you what, like, Steph is unbelievable. So Kari, I'll give it to you.
Hi, everybody. I am honored to be amongst this group of really fabulous people. Steph and I have known each other for a long time. We actually sold wine together in Chicago many moons ago. Anyway, so what we're asking you to do, again, is just take a look at that little sheet that we have up, and we'll send it to you, and Belinda will send it by email. It's just, you know, think about just getting everyone to be a little bit more aware of their emotions, because we're all stressed out right now. We've got, you know, everyone has a shitstorm going on. We're all in this together, which is actually kind of nice. But anyway, what we're asking you to do is think about your emotions. Are you denying them? Are you accepting them? Or are you using them to change behaviors into good things? So, you know, what does that look like? For consumption here, we show if you're denying, you're eating that whole box of donuts. You're drinking, well, I mean, we're all drinking, but we're gonna continue to drink for the rest of the day.
That part.
Accepting him, it looks more like, you know what, I am feeling stressed. I feel the anxiety. I'm gonna have my boozy brunch today, and then I'm gonna hit the water afterwards, all right? And then, you know, taking it one step further, which is difficult in this time because we're going through this, but, you know, you use that anxiety and you say, all right, I'm gonna drink on the weekends. I'm gonna go for a run this morning because it's gonna make my anxiety lessen, and I'm in control of them. But you can't, you know, you gotta go through these steps. So we're just asking you to just think in the back of your head, shoot, how am I feeling today? Because our mental awareness and strength right now is being tested. So we're just here to help you out.
Thank you guys for that. We super appreciate it. It's, I think this is one of those things where everybody's doing it their own way. I know for me, this is the first time in my life where I haven't felt like eating. I'm actually eating better than I've ever eaten because my appetite and what, how I'm processing this stuff is like, I can't put anything extra in my body, and I'm getting to know myself in a very different way. So thank you, Kari. Thank you, Stephanie. Really quick, how can we find you guys at Not Collective for those who want to sign up for the program that you guys are offering that can support us during this time, those who want your resources more than just the things that we're going to share, because we are going to share that one tool. We're going to share that in our email that comes up post brunch. But Stephanie or Kari, can you give us the information on how we find you?
Sure, I'll go. You can visit our website. So www.nockcollaborative.com. You can sign up for a free workshop tomorrow as well that we're offering for the industry. Please join us. And on top of that, we're offering the 21-day program for a very, very special price. We have to charge because we believe in having some skin in the game, but it's really, really a small fee just because commitment, you gotta have a little skin in the game. So you can find us there.
Awesome. Stephanie and Kari, thank you so, so much. We've had a few comments in here, people talking about their vivid dreams. Mine have been insane. Bailey, keep at the workouts because it will help. And I think if we've learned anything from everybody today, it's that we all are dealing with our shit, because there is no other way. You know, we got to face ourselves when we're sitting in the houses by ourselves, even if we're surrounded by other people. We are facing ourselves and what have you. And you know what? It's all okay, right, Steph? I mean, that's the whole point. Yeah. It's all okay. Mm-hmm. And I think this is how we come out of this better and looking, you know, wonderful. But you know what, right now I'm gonna top off my glass of wine.
That's always the right thing to do.
We have not done something that we should have started with, because literally for 5 seconds I forgot about it. But Miss Belinda, let's pull out that cupcake, sis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, it's possible that I have a candle ready.
Yes.
We do. We all unmute each other and sing happy birthday to
Belinda.
So let's do it, you guys. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Belinda. Happy birthday to you.
I love all of you. I think that Zoom did not know what to do with all those people singing, even though I tried to unmute all of you from a moment. But I'll tell you my wish. I know you're not supposed to do that, but my wish is that all of us come through this safe and healthy and even better than before, if that's possible. I love all of you. Thank you for joining me for my birthday celebration today.
Yes!
That's what's up, girl.
Yes!
I made you a cake.
Thank you. And thank you for the cupcakes, Carly. I love them so much. And Molly,
birthday.
Chicago is so amazing. So,
I love you.
Thanks, Steph, and thanks for all of our guests, and Kari, and Carrie, and Christopher, and Alexandria with an I, and Morgan Olson. We really love spending this time with you. I don't know about you, but it just really brightens my week to have this group of people together to connect with and drink with, so I'm not drinking by myself. But I'll also tell you that we have all these fun people lined up for the next couple of weeks. We will be here next Sunday. I don't know, Julia, if you're still out there with us, we'd love to hear from you. I had to cancel my last reservation at Kamiko a couple weeks ago because that's when in Chicago this whole crazy thing happened. But, you know, Julia, if you want to say a few words about what you're going to show us next week and share with us next week, that'd be awesome.
Hi. It was
Hi.
really lovely to tune in. Can you?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Oh,
this is really beautiful. I feel such a sense of community that I haven't felt in a long time. This is really special. So thank you for letting me be a little fly on the wall for a while there. So I'm still kind of game planning what to talk about next week. So if anyone has any ideas, I'd love to hear about them, maybe in the comment section. And I will strategize with Belinda as well about what might be a fun topic to discuss. But I was thinking about maybe Nihonshu, talking about Japanese sake, or shochu, or we could even do a cocktail. So let's chat about it and decide some fun things.
We would love all of it. Hopefully by next week, you'll be able to tell us all the cocktail kits and fun things that we can buy from you too, so that we can drink along. But Rebecca, if you can put up that graphic again, we have so many fun people joining us next week. So Diana Davila from Mitokaya wants to share her ultimate chilaquiles recipe. Sarah Grunberg, who's a good friend and like one of my favorite people on earth, she has this secret carbonara recipe. Mark Chi knows about it. A few people know about it, but she's going to make carbonara with us. Jean Sparrow, are you ready for some carb loading?
Girl, I was taking Easter off so I could be with the Lord, but I don't know.
I don't know. You might want to join us.
I might have to dip through after Mass on Sunday. Mass by phone.
So freaking good. And then down the street from me is this incredible clothing boutique called Space 519. It's not just clothing, but like incredible gifts. And Lance and Jim are going to be with us next week too. They have an incredible small
favorites.
I know, it's like the best place ever. And just like every small business and restaurant now is like a really hard time. So we're excited to help them and have them with us to share all of this amazing stuff that they do with us and for us in real life on a weekly basis. So this is all we have planned for today. I will tell everyone that doesn't know, because a few people have hung out with us through, I don't know, like a 3-hour post show. You are welcome to hang out. I will unmute all when this is all over if you want to keep the drinking going. But I just want to say,
because after the show, it's the after party.
After the show is the after party. I'm working on a DJ. We'll have
and after the party, it's the hotel lobby.
So all of you, I hope that we'll see you next week, even though it's Easter. We're doing it a little later in the day in general. So hopefully, you can do whatever you need to do, your Easter stuff, and then come join us after or make us a part of your Easter. And we're going to keep doing this every Sunday because I don't know, it's making me feel good. And from the feedback I'm getting, it's making a lot of people feel really good. So I love all of you. Stay healthy, stay safe. Don't forget to tip your sommelier. There's Carrie's Venmo information, and she is going to use all of your tips for the house fund for her and Alexandria and Christopher for all of the essentials that they need out in Queens right now. So please be generous with them. And I love all of you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Krista. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, everyone.
Cheers.
That's
Happy
the end of the
birthday.
Cheers. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you for the good idea and this presentation.